While I'm here, I wanted to share another sweet client moment from yesterday and some perspective that I offered her. So, she was talking about how her body looks and how she doesn't see what I see. And that's very typical, right? Most of us are self critical of our bodies, at least at some point in time, not always. And, there's a spectrum of how critical people may be or how often that they're critical of themselves. But it was funny because I was like, honey, I don't think you have any more fat to lose. And that's how she was like, yeah, I don't think I see what you see. And I said, well, most women that come to us here, experience that same thing. They literally can't see the differences in the pictures that we see. And a lot of that is just from the relationship that people have from their bodies throughout their entire life and the patterns of self criticism that they've wired into their brain over and over again. So, when my clients are struggling with negative thoughts, I have them typically rub their index and thumb finger together after every negative thought that they have for about 10 seconds with such a tension that they can feel the fingertip ridges. So this is just essentially a somatic or a mindfulness based practice, because when you're rubbing your fingers together for 10 seconds, it's really hard to have thoughts running through your brain. And then over time, if you repeat that again and again and again, every time you have a negative thought, you can create some space between the thought and the feeling, the thought and the behavior. And what that does is essentially helps you to unaddict yourself or detach yourself from the feeling that you get from that negative thought. Because what happens is we all get addicted to those negative thoughts. We get addicted to the stress hormones that we have in our body that can come from having those negative thoughts and trying to control things in our life as well. So I gave her that tool and I said, just FYI, you might realize you have a lot more negative thoughts than you think you do right now. So that's why also doing some grounding practices while you start to do that are very key, because sometimes those negative thoughts, once you're really fully aware of them, can be super overwhelming. But what I also said is, because she referenced, really wanting this certain type of look, and she has that look, but she can't see that look. So trying to, train her way and nutrition her way to achieving the look is probably not going to work, right? It has to come from inside and not outside. So I offered to her, this option or perspective that, and especially as related to people, get everything they want. They have the body they want, they have the cars, whatever, the relationship, and they're still not feeling so hot inside, right? So I simply said, creating that feeling that you want within yourself, becoming that person, feeling that feeling, aligning with that feeling by the actions that you take, creating as Dr. Joe would say, a new personality, aka personal reality, in my opinion, is much more sustainable and powerful than trying to change the outside in. And I think it goes both ways, right? I think that changing your outside, as long as you can see and appreciate that, will impact how you feel on the inside. However, sometimes the way our bodies look are not in our control. Like, I'm not going to look a certain way. So if I wanted a certain shape of my hips, that's not happening for me, right? Like, my body is a certain body type. So coming from the inside out is honestly also going to give you a radiant energy that people are attracted to and they really notice. And you're going to feel like beautiful, and you're going to love your body regardless of what it looks like and through the ebbs and the flows. And what's interesting, I just looked and it said 444, so it's funny. What's interesting about her response was, she's like, I've never actually really thought about it like that. And we had a whole conversation, because we're so told to focus on the outside. We're sold a million products that are going to fix our outside, right? But we are so distracted from going within. And that's a lot of nervous system regulation because it can be so dysregulating because people don't focus on those things, right? So building that relationship to yourself can work wonders for you. And people notice. They can tell when you're working on that relationship within because they will see your confidence. They will see your beauty in a way of like they really notice the energy. And to me, beauty, intelligence, things of that nature are much more of an energetic thing than they are a physical thing. Yes, things have physical beauty, but to tie this all up and this here, when I was in a very wild state of sympathetic and dorsal vagal, so oscillating between like completely shut down and completely anxious, I felt old for the first time in my life. I felt ugly. I would look in the mirror and be like, oh my God, like I'm wrinkling and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, I've never really felt this way. And now I'm more balanced and I'm like, wow, I feel beautiful. So your nervous system state, as I told her, will also affect the quality of your thoughts, right? So that's why the nervous system work is so powerful and important. But anywho, I just wanted to share that. Talk to you soon. Also, should I be like Muscle Mommy Meditator? Should I change my name? Okay, bye.